that meant. G'day, mate.
Said it. G'day,
G'day,
mate. We are live.
We are live. We are here. We are live. Woo.
And we are talking about the book that I am actually going to remember the title of and get it correct for once. The Lessons Never Learned by Rob J. Hayes. Book 2 in the War of Eternal series. I keep calling it the War Immortal series. And then I'm like, no, that's wrong. That's a different
I never
series.
remember what the whole series collective is called anyway, so you're doing better than me.
I was like, no, that's the Immortal Techniques, and I'm sure that's another one of his series. But there's just so many books.
Yeah.
He
has got so many books. Yeah.
He does have so many books.
Being a reader is hard.
It's so hard. Oh my god.
So hard.
Oh yeah, you're Lendenses.
Look who
Tufty.
it is. It's the one and only Tufty.
He's got their own theme tune. On and only Tufty. Good evening, friend. Hope you are doing well. To be honest, this is another one of those series that I think we're not going to need to spend like 1 million hours talking about it like we do with like the other long, complex series. Because
it's not as intricate. It's still good. Don't get me wrong. I am not dissing Mr. Hayes, but it hasn't got 50 billion different points of views that you're like trying to remember, which I like. I'm having my dinner.
Yeah, so I think.
Oh, it's funny.
To be honest, sorry, I'm sat in a different room and I'm not close to my internet. So I'm literally, when I say not close, means on the opposite side of this wall is where my router is. The internet's just like, nah, mate, not going.
My router is literally here because I'm sat in my front room.
I should have just stuck with my computer, but my computer, I've been sat all day at work. I'm just wanting somewhere different, so I'm sat on a nice little cushion thing at my vanity. And it's not, my internet's gone a bit shitty. But you're welcome. I hope you listened and are enjoying our beautiful mermaid type voices.
Yeah. We are pop stars in the making.
That is correct. that is, and to be honest, I am actually really glad that the way that the way that we've done this is like we've gone for quite an in-depth series to like one that like I said, you don't get 1,000,001 POVs.
Yeah.
Because recently, with the way that I've been reading or lack thereof, I probably wouldn't have got through it.
No,
first book I finished all month.
Would have struggled, to be fair. But this isn't just a single POV this time. We have got two POVs.
We do, and that was just for anyone who's watching this back, we do spoilers. It's not really ever discussed in a linear fashion because that's just Nira Spicy Brains and that. But first off, I'm gonna start with ratings. What did you rate it?
4.
Same.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, it just wasn't the same as the first one. I think the big thing for me with the first book was that I rated it 5 stars because of the scene between Esker and what's his name? Ison? No, something like that.
Ison.
It is. Look at me remembering the name. Which was like her first time, and I just felt like that was really well written. I think part of that is like a big thing for why I rated that one 5 stars. This one is still written very, very well. This has still got plenty of heartbreak and gruesomeness and stuff. And a bit of LGBTQIA thrown in there and all. A bit of representation.
Did not expect that.
No, I didn't, to be fair, but made sense. But yeah, I don't know. Just it wasn't that 5 for me. Bye.
5-star feels. I am not such a terrible student after all, you're not.
I am awful.
But I think with this one, like, because we did say at the end of the last show, like, I don't know how we're going to feel going out of the pit.
Mm.
And I do feel like it was very strange because he was so insulated, like, in book 1, and it was very much just like a little crew of people.
Yeah.
It was quite intimate, but I don't think we got as much of heart as I wanted. But I can understand why, because the book was very much focused on Silver and Esther and Yusuf. Yusuf is alive.
Yeah.
Well,
I liked, because obviously to begin with, oh, the wind's just shut my back door. I didn't even know it was open. I liked how at the start we're kind of like, how the heck is Yosef alive? And then at the end of the book, we are given kind of like a tidbit of how he has enough magic in him that he doesn't necessarily need a source. I thought that was quite interesting, especially along with the lines of when we meet Silver and she's also a sorceress, which, spoiler alert, you don't find out till the end of the book. But she also doesn't need a source. So giving us that information that from the first book, we know that sorcerers can only like conjure magic if they swallow these rocks and then regurgitate them back up. And then now we're being told actually some people actually can just do magic with no source because they are themselves magical, which was quite interesting.
Yeah, kind of like the fact that
the world a little bit.
The Iron, was it the Iron? What's it called? The Iron. I can't want to call him Iron Maiden. He's not the Iron Maiden, but he, you know, like they actually absorbed the essence rather than the source, rather than just swallowing it. Like that just sets the world off on a whole other tangent. It opens the world up to so much more. But yes, finding out that he was still alive, I was kind of like happy, but then also it's really strange because obviously he can't speak, can he?
Not until the end.
Yeah, that was also another thing. There's just, oh wow, a couple of comments that I've missed. And this was an excellent follow-up to the first book. In this, we see the natural evolution of previous events, handling devastating decisions with respect and insight. That's another thing, that there's always consequences to your actions, and the amount of foreshadowing. Oh, sorry, chills. The amount of foreshadowing, and the fact that she's like, when Eska's narrating it from her older, wiser might not be true, but her older self.
Yeah.
Saying like, oh, I should have listened to him when you know the horror was telling me to kill him, and you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of foreshadowing in this book.
Yeah, a little bit of tidbits of like, well, I kind of didn't trust Silver when we met her anyway, but the fact that she kept dropping hints like, you know, I know she's hiding things, and the horror might be a little shit, but he ain't wrong, was he?
No, all he wants to do is go home. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not on his side or anything, but that's all he wants to do is to go home.
Something that like feeds on fear.
Yeah,
he just wants to go home.
I just want to go home.
And she's like keeping him there. She's keeping him there because she wants to gain her own more power for herself and stuff. And it's just like, at the end of it, you made a deal. Like he chose that he said he wasn't going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like that you were going to take him into your body and you were going to help him get home. And literally she just keeps putting it off and off and off. I'm surprised he didn't lash out sooner. Yeah. Like he didn't show his foot, because obviously he's powerful. Yeah. But it's just like, even though she's so freaking selfish, I can't help but like her.
Yeah, but also
you can't help but like her.
I know, but part of it is also remembering that she's still quite young. Like she gets pregnant from the very first guy she's ever with, and then that is obviously covered within this book. I like that
Yeah.
wasn't dragged out too much. I'm not a fan of the pregnancy trope anyways, but I can understand why it was in this book. It wasn't like a way to necessarily like trap the main character or anything like that, which I feel is commonly used more in obviously romance books. And the whole scene where she's giving up her child because
that was horrible.
Yeah, because she's afraid that she's like, well, I can't give her the life that she deserves. All of my bad and wrong is going to fall on her head. And like, fair enough. I think as well, the way that Rob writes this character, you forget how young she actually is, because she forgets how young she actually is. Like, she just goes through life. She's gone through so much stuff. She's been a soldier. She has been in the pit, which is the worst prison. You know, she's been battered. She's been forced to work. She's
eating the chronomancy.
Yeah.
Sauce. Actually, so she looks older.
Yeah.
Than what she actually is. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's
because of the sauce that she used. So yeah. So
you know,
it is very, and because of the trauma she goes through, it's very easy to forget how young she is. But also the fact that he doesn't, and I'll say this about every time I read his books, he doesn't shy away from the hard stuff, and he doesn't let his main characters off just because they're main characters.
That's true.
No. I like the heavy shift towards inner monologues in storytelling. It's not one bam snappy dialogue. Yet, as much as I hate Joseph for what he did and how he sort of betrayed Esker, you can see his point of view, because that's just, he didn't want to be involved in the war in the first place. But hearing his side and his inner monologue when he's like writing his notes in his little journals, I can't help but feel sorry for him, because he's then put into another situation where he's forced to do things that he doesn't want to do. He's still a slave to other people's whims.
Yeah, he's gonna be, isn't he? Really,
he doesn't have his own agency.
No,
and it weren't nice to see.
No, I did not enjoy is the wrong word, but I think it was done really well. The whole like him trying to figure out kind of his feelings for Esker, and the fact that he was like, well, why did you do this? I wanted us to not be involved. Why couldn't you have just given in? Like, I love you, but I hate you. You're my longest friend, but you betrayed me. You tried to kill me. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff to go through, man.
Yeah. He's also very young as well. So they're both like little whippersnappers, aren't they?
Yeah, it was. I find it kind of interesting because obviously he's writing his thoughts down because he can't talk, and he finds out that Esker was pregnant, and he's like, "It must have been Ison. They always made eyes at each other."
It's clearly jealous of how well what they had.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just kind of like a little bit of an immature moment for him, wasn't it? Oh, they were always making eyes at each other.
Yeah.
The spoken lines of sparsely passion, the rest of Esker's thoughts, decision making, it makes for a vastly more engaging read than a quick dialogue derived story. Yeah, it does. I think.
Yeah, I feel like Rob's done a really good job at like the whole foreshadowing part of like Esker going back and being like, "Oh, I should have done this," or "I feel like I've done this," and blah blah blah, and the present tense as well.
Yeah. I wish the gang didn't use their real names around folks.
Yeah, this is stupid.
Or in town. It leaves a trail when demanding the soldier return to Emiko. Yeah. Yeah, that did make me think, like, they're trying to get away from the people chasing them. Why on earth are you just flouncing around? They're not quiet in what they're doing, are they?
No, and they're very much obvious with like who they are. There's nothing.
Yeah. And there's nothing under, like, what is it called? Nothing. quiet about them. Like they can't go under the radar at all.
No, and it's like the minute that Eska lost that source in the beginning, and she was searching for the thief, and she found her. That's not English. She found her, and then obviously, eventually, they join up with this young girl. But yeah, she's going around shouting about how this girl has stolen her source, and like they're not. It's not like it's
people don't like sorcerers.
Yeah, they don't like sorcerers, but also like it's not like it's a useless thing to be able to do. You know, like I can imagine quite a lot of people would like to use a sorcerer for something, or take a source and sell it on. But no, it's like going around screaming how you've got like a massive telly at home or something. Like, oh,
my door's unlocked. You can just walk right in and grab what you want.
Yeah, don't steal this grand that I've got in my pocket. Jeez, that's mine.
Oh, that was just me laugh. I've been wondering where the chromancer itself went, but it was obviously Tamara's in retrospect. I'd have been pissed if somebody sold it from you. Yeah, true. Yeah. But finding more about Tamara, and because we all knew it was a bit of a quirky one, didn't we?
He's crazy.
But to find out that it's actually an aspect. Yeah. And I really like the fact that, like, when you're an aspect, or like when you use, like, if you use something for too long, you then become like crazy. So the ones that could see into the future stopped seeing the present, and then their eyes like rotted away basically because they didn't see the present. Like there's a consequence for using your abilities, and it's not just all like, it's a flick of the wand and a magic spell, and you can do what you want. There's always like a bad side for using what isn't normal for a human to be able to use.
Yeah.
It's also pretty gruesome to read.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty common theme too for Rob's books. Like if there is something gruesome to be said, he will say it and you'll have to sit through it.
Yeah. It don't shy away from it, does it?
No. Not at all.
Eska always imagining the damage she will inflict on others, but is utterly impotent to fight with Immaculate. She is the worst at fighting. But the thing is, she's admitted that. She's admitted that
good. Like, that's the thing. And like there's so many points within this story where she's obviously she's training with Tamara and Hart, learning 2 different fighting styles. She's not good at either of them, to be honest. And then when she finds out she's pregnant and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to fight." And you're like, "Okay, great." And she's like, "Well, I didn't when you fight, usually you stick to one martial art." Nope, I tried both of them and just squishing them together. Brilliant. That's already a big no. And then she's like, "Oh, and also I didn't realize how much pregnancy would impact my fighting." Excuse me?
Bless her. She's only a young'un. Just to remember, she has a young girl's brain.
She's a bit of a daft young'un and all. Like,
she runs her mouth, but she's like,
I was also surprised that she had the Yeah, I was also surprised that she had the ability to get pregnant. Purely because I would have thought that in prison they would find a way to not, I don't know, figure out a way to not have you
the thing is, she was very like malnourished and stuff as well. She wasn't. She's lucky. I'm surprised that the child was born with no issues because she wasn't in the best environment.
She gave it away. She had it and then gave it away.
Yeah.
So she, and then by the end of the book, she's like, "I want to find my daughter," and I'm like, but the whole premise of that bond, the whole premise of it was that once you give up the child, that's it. You don't know nothing; it's gone. And now you don't.
But she realized that no matter where whatever she did, she was gonna, because of the way she loved the daughter, she was always gonna want to protect her anyway. So whether she would still be better out of danger and out of her mum's immediate vicinity. So yes, she might have wanted her daughter back, but you know, you can protect her from afar.
Yeah, like just send her a Christmas card every year.
If she's not nearby, she can't get a sword stuck through her, can she? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just send her a Christmas card and.
But yeah, the fact that they're hinting that her daughter's dead. I don't think she is dead though. I'm sure. I need to go back and listen to it, but I'm sure. I know there's a mention that she's had 2 daughters, but I can't remember if in the previous book it mentions that her first daughter is actually still alive. I'm sure it mentions there's a comment made about her daughter's personality. And
her second, she said
she
talks about her second one in this one, doesn't she? And she says about how she turned out to be a monster or something.
Yeah, I'm just. It made me question.
Not surprised.
Sorry, my internet keeps going. It makes me question whether or not it's actually mentioned about a daughter with a daughter's personality. I've got a feeling she's not dead. I think it's in Neska's head that she's dead. They haven't confirmed that she is. They just say that they don't have access to her. They can't get her, and it's not within their power to bring her back. But they haven't. When she said, like, obviously she hasn't had the guts to sort of broach the subject with them and say, is she actually dead or alive? But my thinking is because she hasn't asked, does it mean that, like, is that, I don't know, maybe it's because I just don't want the child to be dead because that's just horrible. But I feel like there's something else that's going on where they've given her away to maybe a cult. Something. They've given the child away to somewhere where they don't have access to her.
Maybe, but I think like the whole premise of it is almost like closed adoption. Like once the kid gets shipped off to someone else, that's it. Like no one knows where that child's gone. That child has just been adopted somewhere else. So it could even just be, it could have been adopted by, the people that run the pit, for argument's sake. And in theory, you're not meant to know. But I feel like that'll come back around.
I could only quit. I really was tempted. Yeah, I really was tempted. I've got book 2 on audio. I need to buy the physical of book 3 on audio. I need to buy the physical of book 2. But I really wanted to just move straight on to book 3 after the way book 2 left off. I'm just like, how the fuck can you leave us on that cliffhanger? That I'm not okay. Why?
That's how he's managed to write 5 books in this series.
Eska held onto the chain powered by Circus of the Game's newfound respect, but nobody questioned or explained how or what happened after her grip gave up her. They're scared of her. I think everyone is scared of her because they don't know. She's unpredictable.
Yeah, she is.
Even if she didn't have this horror inside her, she's not stable.
Yeah, I wonder if in that situation as well, it is also everyone's aware that she's pregnant by this point. Maybe we just brush it under the rug and crack on. Like we just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I
just feel sorry for Hart because he's like lost his brother, found out he's not that he's under the best circumstances, but he found out he's gonna have a niece. And then she hid the fact that she was giving her away, and he found out after she'd done it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this poor guy.
But at the same time,
he's also been through hell.
Yeah, but I was kind of with her on that one because I was like, I understand the feeling that someone's going to talk you out of something that, like a big decision you've made about your life. It was her kid. Like, she understood as well. She did say about, like, she knew that he would not be happy with her decision. That's why she also didn't tell him. But at the same time, who is going to look after this kid? I think what she did was probably the best option. Yeah. Not anymore. Start speaking in riddles. But I do feel like that was like the best option in that circumstance because obviously as the book goes on, you can never know what's going to happen to you as you carry on. But she she's been fighting everyone. And how would she do that with a baby on her hip? She wouldn't. You know.
Like, hold the baby. I'm just gonna fight this person. I'm in love with.
Well, you go up into the beaches. Can you just make sure that Kento's had her bottle and she goes down for a nap?
Yeah, she did the right thing. I do believe my telly's a decent size, but yeah. I only started thinking tomorrow was an aspect shortly before the full reveal, so I missed that. I thought there was something dodgy about him to begin with. Like, how did he know where the source was kept in book one? That was still like, obviously he put it there, but why would he have a source? See, I knew that either like he was a. I didn't think it was an aspect, but I thought it was a sorcerer. But otherwise, why would you need a source?
Yeah.
And why would you have hidden it?
True.
Like, and also, if chronomancy is his thing, why did she friggin' swallow it? Why couldn't he have swallowed it? He wouldn't have had the same side effects as Esker did.
Because he's already a bit doolally. He's already a wackadoodle.
I suppose. He's already a wee bit crazy.
He's probably more of a loose cannon than she is, to be completely honest.
Not far off though. Like, they're both a wee bit crazy. There was so much explicit foreshadowing that I've stopped trying to catalogue every instance. There is.
You're gonna have to, otherwise you drive yourself insane, I think. Which is not ideal.
I like it though, because even though there is foreshadowing and like a bit of sort of like dropping hints, it still leaves a bit of a question as to like how things are going to go down. It's not. They don't. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't trust Silver, but what is it that she does to make you just trust her? Like, it still leaves a little bit of a question as to like how she's gonna find out that this person that she's grown so attached to is gonna betray her. But again, I didn't think that it was gonna end for Silver the way it did. But then again, I shouldn't have expected anything different from Rob, to be fair.
Yeah.
I need to stop thinking better of him because he's just going to kill everyone off in it.
Yeah, he will just kill everyone off. That's what he does.
Unless it's Yosef. Yeah, unless it's Yosef,
he came back.
His biomancer will just try and save him. Yeah. But now we know why he didn't fucking die.
Well, yeah.
That's true. I think, I'm hoping, even though Rob just likes to, stab you in the heart and kill everyone off that we have any kind of connection to, I feel like in the end I want Yosef to reconcile with Esker in some way, like to switch sides to what I'm going to call the good side that Esker's on.
I don't really know if anyone's on a good side in the Rob book. Like, there isn't really a good side or a bad side at all.
I think whatever side Esker's on, I want Yosef to end up on the same side as her because they can fight together again as best friends. Because even though they've been through so much shit and she thought she killed him and he betrayed her, as soon as he saw her, what did she call him? She still called him a best friend.
Like, yeah, but she doesn't harbor as much hate for him as he harbors for her. Which he clearly does.
Yeah, but
he sees a lot of what she's done as betrayal, and she doesn't. She kind of does, but she's forgiven him as well. Like, he just can't seem to get over himself
because she thought he was dead.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, but he never wanted the war in the first place. He hated fighting anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's why he got paired with Esker, because she was the one that kind of like chivied him on a little bit. Chomping to continue.
Yeah, she wanted to fight, didn't she?
Yeah, well, yeah, but it makes sense, doesn't it? Like, if you're training people and you see that people are bonding and one's got more aggression than the other, then it kind of makes sense to like buddy them up so that one eggs the other on more to kind of I don't know, fight in the war, I suppose.
Yeah.
So it is.
I'm trying to think if I've ever been taught to have a big decision, but I don't think I have such experience.
I don't think it was the fact that she thought he might actually. I might have misspoken that. I don't think it's that necessarily she thought he would be successful in talking her out. She just didn't want to be sitting through him trying to talk her out of it. Because personally, I've been there. Like, you're trying to make a decision and someone's trying to talk you out of it. You still stick by what you want, but then you kind of feel bad because you've made the decision against what the other person wants, and that's not fair. Because, like, obviously, it's your life and you do whatever you want with it, be it right or wrong. But
make your own mistakes, don't you? Which she clearly found out later on that she realised it was a mistake, but we
all knew it was going to be something that came back to her. Like, I feel like she's a lot more maternal than she thinks she is, but at the same time,
100%.
I don't think it was the wrong decision. I think she just
no.
I am interested to see how this decision of trying to find her daughter, impacts her. I'm also interested to see who's the father of her next kid, because it's not going to be Silver, because I know biology and I know that doesn't work.
So she's dead.
Oh, well, now she's dead, yeah, but they've already hooked up, so it's not like she's going to have another reoccurrence of, like, the father is dead and she's still left with it, like, Silver was a girl, which I don't think we've mentioned. That's not how that works. Without help.
I would like to know whether it's because if she keeps the second child, whether that's the reason she refers to her as being a monster, because she ended up keeping her around while she, she openly admits during her foreshadowing narrative bits that she's done some shit in her life, like back then, and you know what I mean? So it's like, has she had a second child and thought, well, I'm not giving this one up as well, kept her around, and it been to her detriment, and then the second one's ended up a monster. And I also want to know how she's a monster.
Well, we'll find out hopefully in the next few books.
Well, we've got 3 left, haven't we?
We have.
I'm excited. Wow, I can't. A major event in the book was a major event in book 1 was oh my god, why can't I word? Yeah, that is true. What should book 3 bring us? I don't know. I'm trying to think of what could happen, because all I knew in book 2 was that they would be out of the pit and something would happen. That was my grand prediction. you can never tell.
Yeah. It's just, which book does she get pregnant in again, and how many years do the next 3 books cover? That's my thought.
Yeah, because it needs to cover some decent like time for her daughter to have grown up and to be in a position for her to be like, well, she's grown up to be a monster. So
yeah, and also for her to be as wise as she apparently now is.
Yeah, from all those years ago, and she's saying it. She's talking now as in, like, back when her kids were young. Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably going to be about probably 20 years that we'll end the last book on. It'll be like 20 years since everything happened. That gives a child enough time to grow up and be an absolute horror. Be a monster. Yeah, bloody hell, a cutting crew moment indeed when she was dying. I did not expect her to die. I thought they were just gonna, I don't know. I thought she was gonna.
Yeah, I thought she was quite.
I thought she was gonna betray her. I thought Silver was gonna betray her in some way, but I didn't expect Silver to have taken her all the way there so Silver could sacrifice herself. I thought they were setting Esker up for failure. I thought they were setting Esker up to be sacrificed. So when it turns out that Silver was like, I'm gonna die, and it's just what it's meant to be, it was pretty sad, but also, like, I'd want to slap her for keeping that kind of thing from me.
Yeah.
Like, because my thing is, I don't know, like, there was just so much she didn't actually know about her. So much.
Yeah, it was very much.
Yeah.
Like they spent some time together. Then they spent some time together, and you know, it was very much like I feel like I'm saying like way too much. I feel as though Aisen is clearly the first person that Eska ever lusts over, as she says in the book, and Silver is the first person that she ever loves.
Yeah.
And I think that
because we don't see that relationship developing, we see that obviously she initially finds Silver attractive, and you see that obviously they have some sort of relationship building. But for me, the fact that it's consistently shown throughout the book that she always has this feeling that Silver's not being completely open and honest with her.
Yeah.
I do struggle as to like why she opened up her heart so much to her. It's just, but again, it all comes back to the fact that she's still young, ain't she? She's obviously reeling from the fact that actually this guy that she thought she was like in love with before was just actually lust, and that this is actually a connection. She's found a connection with someone. So I can get that, but it's just like when you sit and think about it, there were so many times where Silver like openly kept things from her, like not telling her where her daughter was for one, and there was always the battle that she didn't actually fully trust. It's just like, oh, why have you let yourself get pulled in by this woman?
Yeah,
but you can say that about people, can't you? In real life as well.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
It's that kind of thing, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. That bit made me laugh. I ignored the edge of the horror. I should have listened. But it to me, sometimes the horrors are just a bit of a dickhead. But also, it kind of reminds me of like, your gut instinct.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of like what he's likened to almost, is that it is her gut instinct when she doesn't really have a gut instinct because she's oblivious to everything. And I don't know why.
You just want to shake and be like, are you serious?
Yeah, like for all the stuff she goes through and then all the stuff she like willingly puts herself into, you're like, why? Let's scale this massive chain up to a floating city. Why? What?
But also, like, I don't know. Like, she doesn't learn from mistakes, and I get being impulsive in a young person, but when you sit and think about it, like, there's so many times where she's just gone off on one, and she knows that her mouth gets her into trouble, but she doesn't. She never learns that her mouth gets her into trouble until later in life. She's like, "Oh, I should have maybe not done this." But it's like, but did you not think at the time, like last time, I was arrogant and thought I could do something, kind of got my ass whooped. So maybe you don't.
No, it's not how that works. That is not how that works.
Go do it again. Did you have a favorite scene or moment when Eska whips her soft blade out to impress Ishtar? I was giggling in delight and equally proud that Eska she was of herself. That bit was like a proud mum moment. So like when she learned how to use the sauce, when she was like really trying hard, and like I like the scene at when Tamara was like she was trying to put up a shield and she couldn't, and then Tamara in his own way was coaching her through it. Like, and the analogy that Tamara used, it just makes me laugh. It's like, and then when she built the shield, she built it a bit. It's like she couldn't stop it from growing.
Yeah,
I can imagine that scene. It's just like wayward magic situation, and it's like she's totally like, "Oh my god, yeah, I've done it." I'm like, "Oh shit, I can't stop." That bit, that made me laugh. I really liked that one. But that's cool thing when you're learning new magic. It's those some of those light-hearted bits that are woven within quite a gritty story. That makes it not a depressing read.
Yeah,
because
that's
it could
true.
very easily get like the amount of shit she goes through and the amount of shit they all go through and death, and you're inside Yosa's head and his thoughts aren't the nicest. It could easily become a very depressing slog of a book. But
Yeah,
because you have those periods where Tamara's just being a bit of a bit of an idiot.
he's very interesting, isn't he, really?
A bit of a crazy old man.
Hmm.
It sort of breaks up all the depressive shit.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, just
I
quite
do
like
like
Tamara. I think he's funny. Some of the stuff he comes
everyone
out with.
needs a Tamara in their life.
Yeah, I would say that this climber's not vertical, especially when they talk about climbing on their hands and knees. I would have thought, like, I kind of imagine it as in, like, it's like almost like this, I suppose, but maybe it's more so like this.
So the message would be like the trajectory of the.
Exactly.
The angle
What
of
kind
this
of
shape.
what sort of triangle are you using? Using isosceles or? Well, because if it's like
Explain
this,
what the angle of this chain was.
but if it's like this, you can't crawl on it, can you? How are you meant to crawl on that? You can't. Like, I am not a pro chain climber, nor have I tried to climb onto a floating city. But I don't think it's vertical. Just doesn't feel like it'd work. Maybe we need to get Rob to do like special editions of these books and get someone to draw it.
Yes. What more special editions? He needs to bring out the God Eater series first. I'm already whacking down a bit of money on that. Jesus. Wait till you finish that series and then bring out special editions of other things.
True. I spent some time visualizing the chain climb. Yeah, well, we're in it for quite a while. I also want to know how they get the grease all the way up the chain. Like, how is every single part of it greasy? Like, why? Obviously, it needs to be maintained, but is it like when they hoist it up and they float away? Is it like laid out in the floating city and someone comes along with a really big brush and like brushes grease on it to keep the metal from rusting? That's what I want to know. Like, sod everything else. I don't care about how sauces work. I want to know how they grease the chain.
Okay, so what I need to ask Rob is, what angle was the chain at? Like, can you please do a drawing?
Like, fully draw it, because like
give it me in degrees.
Yeah. But Tufty's just said those chain links, huge. Right.
Huge.
So how do you crawl across it but also take shelter in it? Because to me, a chain link is like this, right? So they got holes in. So what bit are you crawling across? And how have you swung yourself into the middle of it? You see, these are the important questions.
What? I'm gonna ask Rob the important question. How does your floating
chain city? Yeah, how does your floating city chain anchor work? How does it work? Who hoists it in? Who lets it out? Can you imagine if they just throw that over the side? It's gonna kill somebody. Like, that's do they have like little chain guards come down in high vis and hard hats, like cordoning off like a section, like the anchor's gonna land here? Do you know what? Just send him this interview.
Do you know what? We're gonna get someone to go down to where it needs to be, like, get into, and then they'll shout up, like, release the chain, and then you've got people up on the city, like, cranking the chain, like on a roll, and like they crank it down and up again, and then as you crank it up and down, that's when it greases it. Like, you know, like on a bike chain goes around, and like
you have to manually grease a bike chain. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I know what I mean. Yeah, greasing it as you wind it up. So it's wound up onto a roll of chain, and you grease it as you wind it up.
Yeah, but how? Like the winch is not gonna provide grease unless he has got some scientific like bloody machine going on. I hate to break it to you, that's not even feasible.
This is your chain, and your chain is going round as on a winch, and then you grease it. Someone's there greasing it as you
manually. I also think that would also be cause for health and safety concerns, because if you've got someone standing next to that chain, if it's that big, it's people sized, and you're trying to grease it, you're gonna get stuck in it. that's gonna get flagged straight away. When the health and safety coordinator comes round to check on the process, they're gonna be like, "Nah, mate, can't do that. You're gonna get your hand stuck."
Or your whole body. Safety guard right here.
Yeah. I build stuff for a living. That would never get passed. Never. Never.
In science fiction, space elevators are a common thing. You get blown up all the time, smashing down on the planet, massive devastation. Yeah,
exactly. Can you imagine, like, even just for comedic purposes, like an actual anchor, like a boat anchor being even just winched down? Let's be honest, that's going to be heavy to keep hold of a floating city. It's going to smash houses. Like, how do you pinpoint the exact location that is going to fall? Like, that is what I want to know. Rob, I need to know. Yeah, just send Rob the link to this and say specifically the time frames of whatever it is since I started talking about this chain to whenever we finish talking about the chain, and just say, explain this. You got some explaining to do, because it wouldn't pass.
You got some explaining to do, Rob, so we need to know what angle the chain was at, what it actually looks like, how you can climb on it, and also
sheltering it.
But also, how do you grease said chain? Sheltering it, that's it. And how do you grease said chain?
Mm-hmm. And how do you deploy it?
Also, how do you deploy it and make sure that it doesn't actually kill people?
Yeah, because can you imagine rocking up and being like, "Oh, we're going to trade with you. Oh, I'm so sorry that I've squished your aunt's house, but I've got some nuts." Brilliant. It's not going to bring Aunt Cheryl back, is it? No.
Aunt Cheryl. Where's that come
from? It's true.
Chain gets hauled to a grease tub on the way.
I also don't think that would work. Like,
I mean, it's better on the health and safety. Just
yeah, but right, okay. So this grease tub,
grease the hole that it does. That's wrong.
Right. Anyways, this grease tub, right, has got to have a place for the chain to pass through. How does it not leak?
Yeah.
How does the grease not just leak down the side of the city like it's pooping as it travels? Do you see?
Imagine walking under that city and just get a big plop of grease on.
The problem, right? Nobody would be holding any sort of festivals if the city was pooping grease on their heads as they passed over. Nobody would want the greasy poop city coming near where they live. They wouldn't.
Oh my days!
Yeah. I've taken many a health and safety course.
Oh, I'm sure that when Rob wrote these books, he was not expecting a conversation about the health and safety concerns of a chain that links to a floating city.
Also, another question: why is the buses or whatever, they shuttle people up to the floating city garden, but the chain isn't? Surely, I know it's a big chain; it's got to be a big ass chain, but surely, if someone tried to sabotage this chain, everyone on the ground who's from the floating city run to catch your bloody city because your house is thrown away. Why is the chain not guarded? That makes no sense.
That is a good question.
I know. I have many.
That is a very good question.
Rob, if you're watching
so many
this,
good questions.
You know my Twitter and my Instagram. Pick one and let me know. I'll give you my email if that helps.
I think those are great questions. And also, I feel like we do need to ask Rob these questions to see if he's thought about it. The funny thing would be if he's actually thought about it, and he does have drawings, but I think it might be funnier if he hasn't thought about it and just like...
Well, you know what? I don't think that lowly of Rob. I reckon he has thought about it, but I don't know if he's thought about it to the in-depth level of which I've now thought about it.
Not health inspectors, health and safety inspectors. I don't think he's thought of it to that level. But
not sure. I could be wrong.
Forget about health and safety.
I am
wrong. You have a workforce that just Have an
Doesn't
unhappy
guard the
workforce
chain.
if you don't. Health and safety. First thing you think about.
Yeah.
Got to take it seriously.
Someone's got to maintain that chain.
Someone's got on me. Do you know what? I'm gonna keep thinking about this, and I'm gonna message Rob and ask him.
You should.
Like, we have some pertinent questions about your book. Nothing about Esker. Nothing about Silver. Nothing about the actual characters.
No, I don't want you to drop hints on the book. I want you to answer my chain questions because I'm lost.
Yeah.
And I need answers.
We need the logistics because the brain don't function.
Mine clearly doesn't, which is I'm undiagnosed, but there's something wrong up there. I don't know what it is. There's something.
There's something that you don't really want to know, but you know it's there.
Yeah, have you seen those? Me and my mates in the back.
We're all fine.
Well, yeah, I am fine. I am just extra fine. My mate, me and my mate send these jumpers back and forth where it's like undiagnosed, but there's definitely something wrong. I was like, I should rock that to work. Like, crack on, guys.
Oh my god! Yeah, it definitely is, but it makes you unique.
Yeah, it makes me ask questions about bloody chain. When most people would probably just be like, it makes sense. He says he hasn't started it yet. Well, yeah.
No, I started it about the chain, you div.
Oh, yeah. Rude.
We'll just blame Tufty for all that conversation. I'm not yet started book 3 despite the chomping to get going. Do you think I should get to it promptly? Or do I have a bit of time? You have time, although we do say this every time. We started this with the expectation and the want, and then that the lives will be at the beginning of the month, so it gives you a full month to the beginning of the following month. But with every will in the world,
it's me. It's my fault. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me because I keep going away at the start of every month. So we'll take a little look-see at our schedules, and we'll post earlier this time as to when we're gonna have the live show.
We say that every time as well.
The day before. Yeah, but I'm actually home now. I'm not traveling for 2 months. September is gonna be a late one. I'm just gonna pre-warn you now.
Though, I will say I did have the graphic ready, but my brain was saying you need to post it today for the last 5 days, and then it just wasn't done. And then when I did post it, I realised our faces were missing. Why I didn't realise that when I was posting the goddamn thing, I don't know.
No, I was like, where's my face?
I'm going to blame it on the fact that I've not done anything or uploaded any videos or anything computer related into my channel for like a month. So I'll just say that I'm out of practice.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And put it down to that.
Good thing. Good. Well, it's not a good thing, but it's a good excuse.
Promo is hard.
Also,
editing is hard. So
if I could just give it a life's hard. Just the whole thing.
I don't care. Just editing's hard. I'm just gonna pay for an editor.
All of it is hard.
We'll just email someone and say, "Can you please create this and post this for us?" And that'll be great. Thanks. And then you'll actually get posts a week before needed to be done.
Well, maybe just
not the day before.
Post in general. Wouldn't that be cool?
What are you trying to call out there? Me.
I'm me. I don't do nothing.
I'm joking. But yeah, I really did enjoy this
books, mate.
I really, really did enjoy this book. And once again, Rob did smash it out of the park. It just didn't give me 5-star feels, which is fair. Because 4 stars is still a really good rating.
Yeah.
I did feel bad though, not giving a 5-star. I felt like I was betraying him somehow.
I've given it 4 stars before. It's alright. It's still good rating.
Probably don't care. They probably don't care, but like, thanks for reading my book and shouting about my books.
He does
I'll be appreciative of it. But in my mind, I'm just like, no, he won't care that I gave him a 4 instead of a 5. I mean,
no, he really cares. He really cares.
Don't. Why are you trying to make me feel bad?
No.
Don't.
No.
She's taking piss out of me. But I'm gonna. Do you know what? I genuinely do have those questions now, so I'm gonna message up after this and be like, "Tell me about this chain, bruv."
Yeah, can you just?
We need to know about this chain.
Don't have me fully absorbed. I think this is the problem, right? And it's more me problem. I wasn't fully absorbed. I think if I was, then it would have been 5, but I was not, so it's a 4.
Thing is, it did have me fully absorbed. I don't know why. I feel like it's just because I was missing a bit more of heart. I really wanted more of heart, and if I'm honest, I didn't really give a crap about Silva because I didn't like her to be. I didn't like her when we met her.
Yeah.
I didn't. I would have been happy with Yosef, Eska, and Tamara and Imiko. Oh, we hadn't even talked about Imiko. Imiko was a great addition to the little group. The fact that she's a little thief and whenever shit went down, she just buggered off.
Yeah.
Like you turn around and Imiko wasn't there. She was just like, once again, another little character that's just got her own little personality. Her and Eska have
She's not a fighter. I can respect that.
Sibling relationship.
I can respect that.
Yeah. She's like a little sneaky sneak. I loved her so much. And I would like to see more of Isco, not Isco. I would like to see more of Imiko. And I just wanted to see more of Hart because Hart's just a little, I say little, he's big. He's just like a big snuggly bug in there.
Yeah.
And he just cares about people so much.
No, he cares about Eska. He doesn't really care about anyone else.
And then he's forced into it because they want
I would like someone to tell me why.
That is very fair. I think he does care about Tamara.
Oh yeah, now, but like, I just don't understand why he cares so much. Like, she turned around and she was like, "Oh, maybe he sees me as his sister. Maybe he sees me as like, you know, his brother's lover or whatever." And I was like, "No, like it's a bit odd. It's cute,
but if you think they went through all that shit in the pit together, and they were like they grew quite close, and they've been through some trauma.
Yeah.
Is that Jack in the Box?
He's crawling.
They've been through some trauma.
Yeah.
So I think they just trauma bonded.
Yeah, but like, why? Because he was already kind of protective of her before they trauma bonded.
Maybe it's just to care him. It's just she saw that she was just an absolute mess of a human being and thought she needs someone to look out for her because she clearly didn't look out for herself.
You are messed up. You need looking at.
Exactly. You are a mess of a human being.
Yeah. Much. Very much.
Basically, that's what it is. Yeah. So that is Tufty McTavish. The theme of the lesson never learnt was on the cover. I am the weapon.
Yeah.
And next week we have the corpse queen comes. So we're gonna find out more about our ghostlings.
Ghosty.
Ghost. I do feel like obviously the more that we go on, we're gonna find out more about other people. I'm just happy with the little Eska bubble. But it is true though, lessons were not learned in this book.
No, they were not. They were
repeated. She learned absolutely fuck all.
Yeah,
in this book.
Again.
The same bullheaded woman.
Yeah.
At the end of the book as she was at the beginning. Arrogant to the core. But I love her. She's feisty.
She is feisty.
Even if she's really crap at fighting, she fights for herself, the people that she cares about. And even though she didn't want Imiko to be around, they've grown to like love each other as siblings. So I think that's cute.
Yeah.
Singing me out.
Ghosty.
Title of the book was mentioned several times. Yeah, it was. I love that. And also the War Eternals, that was mentioned. I love a good name drop in a book.
I do like when they drop names into books.
It's just so well done.
Yeah.
Esker is not such a terrible student after all. Potentially, maybe not, but she is still pretty abysmal. Not the worst, but she's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
But she's a flawed human being at the end of the day.
She is.
And we can all relate to being a flawed human being.
Mm.
But now I'm going to go and message Rob about that fucking chain. Explain the chain, Rob.
Explain the chain. Maintain the chain.
Who maintains the chain?
Who maintains the chain? Oh, he's going
to
be
Right, so that is it for this week. No, this month, this year, this whatever. This book.
It's not. Wait, hang on. Months. It's not good confusing nobody.
I've started a section of my book club notes from the Cold Risen Ashes.
That's way more prepared than me. What are notes? I don't take notes. It's all in here, which is why I probably forget shit.
I really don't want to be finishing this series. It feels like we're halfway through the series already. So the next month we'll be on Chelsea's channel, and we'll be we're discussing book 3.
Yeah.
From the Cold Risen Ashes.
Yeah.
And once again, we'll probably just be talking about how much of a pleb Esker is, getting herself into trouble. The most going straight from my notes. You think I'm
Maybe.
I love that. I love that. You could do. I don't know. We don't know.
I would not.
But it's good.
I am not that sort of person. But you could be that person. Anna didn't. No judgment here.
Well, thank you very much once again, Tufty McTavish, for joining us. And we will be back again with Rob, not the person, a Rob J. Hayes book. Anyway, we're back next month, and we will let you know a week in advance next time.
Yes. Woo!
Yeah. But thank you for joining. Goodbye.
Bye.